Just a quick warning, this podcast series contains discussions about crime, trauma, sexual abuse, drug use and suicide. Listener discretion is advised. Trailblazer in the realm of sexual wellness and education, with a fascinating journey from a conventional career path to becoming a respected online course facilitator. Today's guest has carved out a unique niche in the adult industry. AJ, welcome to the Stick Up.
Thanks for having me, Russell.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I was watching something the other day, and I seen you in this. You're sort of debating, not so much debating, but you're on a podcast and you're talking with some women. I was thinking, fuck, this bloke's got it happening, man. He's so worldly. And how old are you?
28.
You know, that's mature beyond your years.
I was very lucky. I had a good mother growing up, and it's just in a lot of hardship. So it's helped me be able to do and talk to a lot of people on a different range of opinions.
Let's talk about upbringing. I like to sort of get a gauge on people's upbringing. Where'd you grow up and what was your upbringing like?
So I grew up in, oh my God, I'm not good with my, the never eat soggy. I grew up in the south of Sydney. Yeah. So I grew up around sort of Hurstville, Cronulla, those areas, Cogra. Divorced family. So my parents got divorced when I was 5. Now, I grew up with a strong mum. So I credit everything to my mother. I credit how I am with, as you said, with women and how I can speak to women. I credit all that to my mother. She's raised me to be able to communicate well with people. I didn't have a crazy wild upbringing, just normal kid. Obviously divorced family has its impact significantly.
Who was your male role model as you were growing up? Did you have one?
You know what? As I get older and I get mature, my male role model was my mum.
Yeah.
She was strongly the male and the female, like the masculine and the feminine role in my life. And, I had a lot of males around me, but not really role model type. None that I look at now, I'm like, fuck, I base my life around him.
You've developed yourself into somewhat of an entrepreneur. Like, where does that skill set come from?
Look, I don't have a really good relationship with my dad, but he was a hard worker. My mum's a hard worker. And also I realized I don't like working for people. Yeah. So I think once I realized that I don't like working for people, or I do like working for people as long as I'm not micromanaged. So that's where it came from. And I'm very creative. I like making things happen.
Yeah, I'm the same. I love analytics. I like seeing stats. I like seeing how things move. And to be quite honest, I wasn't always that way inclined, but I just love seeing things happen. Talk about what was school like? Were you a hustler at school?
Look, I've been working since I was 13, and then I worked my first job was at a dessert bar. In fact, that's actually how I learned how to speak to people, very elegantly. Well, not elegantly, I'm a fucking loudmouth, but I learned how to communicate to people of all types because I used to work at, I don't know if you ever heard of Bay Vista. No. It's a dessert bar in Sydney. It was one of the first ones. So I started working there when I was young, and then from there I learned how to talk. And then when I turned fresh 18, I went into the family adult store. And that's where it all started.
There's a lot to be said about kids working in hospitality, isn't it?
It's the best thing ever.
Yeah. What do you think kids? Why is it so good encouraging kids to work in hospitality from a young age?
I think hospitality is if you go into certain areas and certain industries, you only sort of might interact with certain type of characters or people. Hospitality, you deal with everybody. You deal with businessmen, you deal with workers, you deal with, maybe celebrities, criminals, everyone. You have access and, a variety of different people, and you learn how to speak to people. And it's also it's full on. Hospitality, people don't realize that hospitality works full on. Yeah. Especially if you're in a busy place, it doesn't stop.
There's some real stats that point to successful people that go on to have great careers, especially in communication-based businesses, where they started in hospitality. Would you think it would be a fair assessment? Do you think that you learn a lot?
I mean, imagine speaking to someone you get their coffee order wrong and they got the shits because they've been stressed all day and they start abusing you, and you got to be polite and respectful, and you got to learn how to sort of de-escalate the situation so you don't get fired from your boss because it's not your business. There's so many things you can learn. Even McDonald's, they say with McDonald's, if you got McDonald's on the resume, that in itself is massive.
That in Woolworths, I reckon Woolworths training, McDonald's training, and especially if you make it in the management in McDonald's is a really good step up for business. All right, so left school at 14. Did you leave school at 14?
No, I finished school. Then I went to uni. Yeah. So I went to Macquarie Uni for Bachelor of Commerce. Did all right in school.
I was accused of robbing a bank out there.
Did you?
Many years ago.
Not did you? Like, I'm not gonna get you in trouble, but like
I was accused of it. But anyway, Macquarie University.
I wanted to ask you. I'm like, fuck. What's the adrenaline like when you like rob one?
It's like jumping out of an airplane getting shot at. That's
never tried that, but it sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I was people say I've done skydiving, and I go, yeah, I've done both, and it's the thrill, like the adrenaline. I never robbed banks for power or anything like that. I just robbed them because I was an adrenaline chaser. I like to live on the precipice of death, and it was the closest thing I got. Now,
did the adrenaline, so obviously, I'm guessing the adrenaline built, was it nerves before? I don't know if anyone's ever asked you, but was it nerves before you walked in, or was it like adrenaline?
Yeah, it's nerves, and then when you're running out and you're looking in the bag, that's adrenaline.
And then
it converts from nervous to adrenaline.
And then how long does that rush go for?
You won't sleep that night.
Because are you worried like you don't want to get pinched? But like, I don't know. Like, does the adrenaline rush run all the way until, okay, fuck, it's run out, now I've got to do this again?
You're chasing it. A couple of days later you go, well, want to feel that again. Not a problem. Hey, let's talk about, so what did you study at uni?
So I studied commerce, bachelor in marketing, but I dropped out. Speaking how we're both analytical, and I actually dropped out because I failed stats 3 times.
I was looking at doing psychology and data analytics. I just looked at the maths, the formulas for the data analytics for psychology. I said, I will never be able to do that because
Well, I looked at. So while I was at uni, I was working in the family adult store, and I put 2 and 2 together that like some people need to go to university. Like if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be, a psychologist, there's certain professions where you need university. Business, you don't need university.
No.
Like best example, our mutual friend Key.
Yeah.
Didn't go to university, ultra successful entrepreneur. You don't need, when it comes to business, half the shit you can do is learn on YouTube. Between YouTube and your fuck-ups of trying to do what you want to do, you'll get to where you want to go quicker with a less hex there.
I think so too. I left school at 14. I come out of jail and I was approved to study law. I started studying law, and then I realised I'm going to employ lawyers. I'll own a law firm. I'll become a shareholder in a law firm. I don't need to be a lawyer. I want the cream. I don't want the fucking crumbs. So that's what I went about doing. But well, let's talk about someone like Lowkey. Lowkey, Tom Biordi, Biordi Records. How did you meet him?
So I met him through a mutual friend when we were younger. So what actually happened was I had a friend who knew Key, and Key said to him, look, you should come help promote nightclubs. And he was a bit sort of nervous. He didn't want to do it by himself. And I'm like, look, if one person tries something and you fail, you kind of feel like, fuck, thing. Yeah. I'm like, if we do it together, at least we fail together, and then, we at least got each other to pick each other up. So we ended up, I went the first night at Compass in Darling Harbour. It used to be known as the Port. And the first night I went there, Key, obviously we met Key, and Key's like, oh, come be a promoter, work the door, whatever. The first night I got there, I remember one of the door girls said to me, oh, the last guy I'm very competitive. So like the last guy apparently got like 13 people through the door. I was like, fuck this. So I ended up getting 28. So I beat him. Yeah. And then the week after, I sort of did the same thing. And then the week after Key's like to me, why don't you be the event manager? And then we went from 90 people in the venue to Compass ended up doing about 11 to 1,200 people per week.
Wow.
Yeah.
He rates you. Key gives you the biggest rap. He goes, this bloke's a genius. He loves you to death. And he's been telling me stories about you for about a while now. So, he was talking about how you established your own business, and he's really proud of you. But that's the type of bloke you have. That's a good mentor to have in your life, isn't it?
I learned, to be honest with you, like, I can't say that any of my success in, like, promoting and stuff wasn't self-made. Yeah. It was, like, 85% of it was the opportunity that he gave me. I took it, I ran with it, but also his guidance.
Yeah.
And like the advice he would give me. And look, I got to see a very good part of him too, because I got to watch him grow as well into different aspects of his life. Like when he first started the label and stuff like that. So, but to have someone like that who just, you know, pushes you and just believes in you unwaveringly, it makes a big difference, you know?
It's interesting to sit back sometimes. Like you see, you've got a front row seat of watching this bloke's growth, and he's growing into something pretty special these days. What are the traits you see in him that you wanted to adopt?
He has no fear of failure. Yeah. He just doesn't give, like, can I swear?
Yeah, cool.
He doesn't give a fuck. Like, he doesn't care. It's like, and he doesn't talk about it. It's like, it's either working or we'll just move on to the next. And he's very, like, very quick. And the one thing that he's great at that I suck at and that I'm trying to work on is, like, he finds the right people and puts them in the right position.
Yeah.
And trusts them and lets them go do their thing and stuff like that. And then if it doesn't work, he cuts quickly and then moves on.
He's done that, hasn't he? He does it with clubs. Like, this thing ain't working, bang, let's go.
Next.
You know, people would be so scared of that. Like, he just conquers fear.
No, he doesn't. And he's not scared to invest. And if he loses, he loses. But if he wins, as you can see, he wins.
And he wins big. Let's talk about your venture. What was your first business that you ventured into?
To be honest with you, I only just started my first business about a year ago with the courses. So the adult business was a family business. My mum and my stepdad got into it when I was 6.
Yeah.
He went over to South Africa when pawn shops started like becoming prominent. They had just legalized a law about letting videos. So the old video cassettes of porn.
Yeah.
He was opening up a shop every 3 weeks in South Africa, and my mum met him because my mum was she used to be a wholesaler for all the DVD boxes.
Yeah.
And so that's how they met. And then he came back he was doing 6 months South Africa, 6 months Australia. So he came back, established stores in Australia. Mum obviously went into the business and instead of making them pawn shops, made them adult lifestyle centers. So they, you know.
It's not a sort of that connotation, is there?
No. She didn't want any part of that. She wanted to make sure that they're safe for women, couples, LGBTQI+, all that. So she sort of revolutionized the stores to be friendly, like retail stores rather than pawn shops.
Yeah.
And then my parents got divorced. And then when I left Key, the reason I left Key was to go back into the family business to help mum. And then I became a partner with my mum, started working on the shop. Full transparency, like I can sell. I'm fantastic at selling.
I can see that. Yeah.
I can't merchandise for shit. So like the actual physical retail aspect of it wasn't my cup of tea, my downfall. But the reason why I actually started content was when I went back into the business, my mum said to me, she was like, look, you're going to have to find a way to market because we can't do paid advertising. If like you see all these major adult brands do paid advertising, that's because they obviously can pay millions of dollars for lawyers and ads and stuff like that. I'm not at that stage yet. So I had to find a way to, you know, get the store out, but also like help people. So I feel like the best thing in life you can do is help people, and then you can monetize your passion later. You know, you never lose when you're giving. So I started giving advice, and people were loving it in store. I'm like, oh fuck, I'll record it and then post it out. Started posting it on Instagram. That's where I came up with the name Missionary to Madam. So obviously when we first have sex, we start in missionary, and then by the time, you know, my education and advice hits, you have the sexual proudness of a madam. So that's where the name came from.
So cool.
And then from there, I started giving advice. And I remember I was at dinner. I remember it vividly because it changed my life, this conversation. I was at dinner at Mateo's with a friend, his girlfriend, and another friend of ours. And she's one of the girls like to me, you should go on TikTok. Now, this is when TikTok was like just guys and girls just dancing on it, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm a fucking 25-year-old grown man. I'm not dancing, shaking my ass on TikTok. Yeah. She's like, your videos that you post on Instagram, post it on TikTok. I posted my first video, got 30,000 views. I'm like, this is crazy. So from there, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll shake ass for dollars. I don't care. I mean, I wasn't shaking ass, but like, just started posting crazy. And then within the first 3 months, I had 100,000 followers. And then the first year I had 300,000 followers, and then it slowed up a little bit. And that's what made me realize as well that you had to, you know, you can't when you start something, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
You can't. Yes, something might have worked for you amazingly 6 months ago, but you have to be willing to like keep pivot and move.
How's social media changed the business fabric? What do you reckon?
Phenomenally.
Yeah.
It made me realize, one, the power of the internet, and two, the power of reach. That if you not say the right things, I try to be as authentic as possible. I think that's why I pop, because I don't say things with a filter.
Yeah.
The more I feel like the more authentic you are and the more real you are, just like with your content, like you're just being you.
Yeah.
And it pops because energetically there's no sort of, you're just you.
And it's authentic. I talk about the word I use is authentically vulnerable. Just putting it out there. And I love some. We'll get to it, but I just want to go to the business aspect and the marketing aspect, because what do you say? Like, you're good at it, man. You're good. And Key you're his number one. He says, mate, I remember when I first started on TikTok, one of the first things he said to me when I didn't have a TikTok account, he said, have a look at my mates. He said, that's how you do it. And he referenced you. He said, now, because he said, Russell, you're built for TikTok. He said, your stories are built for TikTok and that. And I got on there and on the first post, I picked up 13,000 new followers and it done 1 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, done 1 million, like the numbers over there. How do you, like, obviously with your personality, outgoing, you're confident, you're a good looking bloke. You're a good looking bloke. I say it how it is. How do you deal with, like, because there's a big thing on there. Like, there's a big thing with the hater content and that sort of thing. How do you do that?
It used to affect me, even when clubs, like when I used to work for Key and I was at the club and someone would get smart on the door, it'd crack me. It would give me the shits. And then, like, okay, that's nothing in comparison to real life to, let's say, that's one person in real life. Imagine 10 strangers on the internet who don't know you. Yeah. They're behind a screen. Their mum still pays for their Wi-Fi. Like, it just cracks you and they say the most vile shit.
Yeah.
I look at it now as it's just boosts the algorithm. Like, we'll talk about it off air. It just boosts the algorithm. If you're like, I'll never say anything that doesn't have my face on it.
Yeah.
Because that's just how I am as a man.
Yeah, same.
Like, I'm a grown man. Like, if I have an issue with you, I'm going to say it and I'll post it from my personal accounts. I'm not going to post it with no thing. And I think that's because I've done the inner work and I don't give a fuck. Like, if that's how much you hate your life, and also, one, you hate your life, and two, you got no time. Like, you got so much time because you're not doing anything with your life to go comment on another grown man's things who's only spreading positivity. I'm just teaching men how to find the clit. That's like, I need a Nobel Prize. Yeah, like I see myself as a humanitarian. I'm not saying that, I don't go on there and say I'm better than like you or I'm better than you and I can do this. I literally say online that I last 30 seconds and can only go one round. Like, I don't sit and try and put myself above.
I'll see you in a fortnight.
Yeah, like, literally. Yeah, I still pay for the Uber and everything, and I cuddle after. That's very important. But I don't I'm only giving my knowledge. Not everyone's had the experience to sit 10 years in an adult store, 60 hours a week, and learn and everything that I've learned. So why not give people that experience? And if you want to hate on that says more about you than it does me.
They're projectionist. I've never Mark Burris I'm friends with Mark Burris. He's never rang me and say, hey, mate, that was a shit comment. Your legs are too skinny, fake abs, fake tan. The successful ones don't. Now, these people have a tendency of projecting their insecurities onto us. We're confident guys. We're having fun. We're having big success in life. We're enjoying it. They want us to they want to bring us down.
100%. So they feel better.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Why would I dim my light? And to be honest with you, I used to do a lot of psychedelics.
Yeah. So you've done a lot of work on yourself.
Yeah, because the psychedelics help. So I had really bad depression.
Yeah.
And my mum said to me, she's like, look, you're at the stage where you're going to have to go on antidepressants. And I'm like, I would rather die. No offense to anyone on antidepressants. Sure. My personal opinion is I would rather die than go on antidepressants. And then around that time, I was listening to like a lot of Mike Tyson and his podcasts and stuff. Like he was talking about shrooms and how helpful they are. I'm like, so I started taking shrooms. I ended up at a yoga camp, and like then I ended up on a nude beach. I wasn't nude, but like I had shrooms. It was the most fucking wildest experience. And I sat on like the third hour of my trip, I sat in yoga and I was like, fucking, wow. I was working all these problems that I had for months and years. they started just pinging. Now, before I say anything, don't go and do shrooms because I said to do it. Go do your own research like I did.
Don't do them medically. Do them with a professional. I'm a real big fan on ayahuasca.
Oh, have you done it?
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm a big fan. I really want to. I've done the ketamine a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe how fucking focused I come after that. Like, man, I had the best year in business ever but I done it properly with a shaman.
Yeah, I've done ketamine, but I didn't do it properly.
Yeah.
Sorry,
well, I done it with a shaman, and we grounded, got the shoes up. I've got a beautiful farm up near Byron, and he just walked me through it and talked me through it, and bang, and we laid down, we done some meditation, and man, I'll tell you, after that, it was like a month later, and I'm going, fuck, I'm hyper-focused. There's no clouds, there's no shit, there's no... And I think that sort of stuff for people that have faced depression and anxiety and that sort of stuff.
Well, it made me realise, so obviously I overcame my depression and anxiety, and then what happened was when I started getting bigger and bigger on TikTok, I had this sort of insecurity within me. I had tall poppy syndrome within myself. And then I had a shroom trip once, and I'll never forget it. And I pretty much said to myself that I am robbing all the people who haven't had the life experiences that I have had if I don't share the information that can possibly help them.
Yeah.
So then when I look at a hater, I'm like, fuck, like, I'm not going to stop me helping. I'm not going to allow that attack or maybe my ego stop me from helping others who need the information that I have.
Yeah.
And that realization made me like, oh, cool, comment, bro. Oh my God, you sell dildos, you teach people how to suck dick. Not a problem. Like, I'm getting paid, and you're boosting my algorithm, which is actually making more people see what I do, which is in turn helping more people. No one's like, everyone in the world can be like peaches, and there's always gonna be that one cunt that hates peaches. I wish them, honestly, all the love. I honestly hope they heal.
I actually, there's a big part of me that feels sorry for him. I just think you poor, simple fucking...
Yeah.
You hate yourself more than you hate me.
Hey. I mean, any grown man who pays his own bills, pays his own Wi-Fi, helps people, works, doesn't have time to sit... Like, don't even have time to reply to half of them.
There's a part you just said about, about giving. I'm a big fan. I give more than my motto is I give more than I take, and I never go without.
I love that.
I've never freaky shit happened to me, man. Like I'll give someone some money on the street and I'll give someone $20 and I'll find 100. It just happens to me all the time.
That's life as a giver, but
yeah.
My mum always instilled this quote in me: is give without remembering, and receive without forgetting.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
I was like,
tattoo.
I'm gonna get that one tattooed one day.
Yeah, I like that.
That quote stuck with me because now, like, when someone, a perfect example, I'll do things for people that I don't want recognition for. I don't think. In fact, the only reason I'm about to say it is because we're in the conversation of it. I was on TikTok Live the other day, and some chick who was in hospital a couple months ago she has endometriosis.
Yeah, really painful, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm big with bringing awareness to it and stuff like that because 1 in 8 women, I think it's 1 in 6 now, experience it, and that affects their sex life and stuff like that, and it can have major issues on relationships. So I always advocate for it. Anyway, she was in hospital, and I was on live a couple months ago, and she was in hospital, and I went live with her. She's like, your content makes me laugh. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And I ended up sending her, I think I sent her like a dessert box. Shout out dessert boxes. But I sent her a dessert box, and I completely forgot about it. Because I did it out of my heart. I didn't post it on social media, nothing. I just said, I was on live. I'm like, I'm going to send you a little gift. And then she came on my live last week, and she's like, I just want to say thank you. Like, this was in front of 700 people. She's like, you sent me something when a lot of people forgot about me, and you went out of your way to help me. I'm like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I fucking completely forgot that I did that. But I'm glad that it helped you.
Yeah.
You got to, when you just give from a place of you want to give to help, life has a crazy way of rewarding you.
I'm a big believer in doing my charity in the dark, and it'll be revealed in the light. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't. I'm the same. I do things. I'm not telling people what I'm doing because it's just. I'd never film humiliating homeless. No. Filming that, I see that, and I just go. Other people might do that. Might think that's good, not me. I'll never do that. You know what I think. I don't know. I just have a different take on it. But your whole business concept. Let's talk about, like, you've obviously jumped into your parents, like your mother's business in particular, and you've really brought the marketing side of it along through social media.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. What sort of figures have you sort of improved it by?
Well, definitely traffic. Traffic's gone up. The business has gone up significantly, both the physical store. Online is getting there.
Yeah.
I think also online is because I went from, running nightclubs to a physical retail store, and then going online and realizing that just because you post something and content online, it doesn't always
equate to customers, does it?
Exactly. It doesn't always equate to customers or traffic. So like this year, my focus is understanding that, also having the humility too, and realize that, just because I have, all these followers and all who are just normal people, I have all these people, doesn't mean that it's going to automatically equate to business success. So it's getting rid of the ego, having a whole bunch of humility, and realizing, like, shit, like, what the fuck? I didn't make $1 million in my first day. Like, it's ridiculous,
Yeah, being realistic.
And being realistic and just taking the baby step. Business is humbling, especially when you're your own boss.
Yeah.
It's humbling because, you can be as positive as you want, but you got to just, stick to it.
I've got a big team, I've got a big team working for me in Warriors Advocacy, and formerly...
I see, isn't it 16?
Yeah.
I've been doing my research.
Yeah, so... But we've got a big team there, and sometimes you get your payroll can be 40 grand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like fucking, it's a juggling act sometimes. But not only that, when you employ people, you're juggling 16 personalities.
100%.
And how do you find that?
I sucked at it. When I was when I was doing the retail side, so I'm currently don't have any employees at the moment. We're going to by the end of the year, I'm going to have a solid team. But with that, I really struggled because my attitude was like, as you would know, your business is your business. So you're always going to put like 130, 140%. Some people might just see it as, this is just a job for me. And I like it. So I'll put 80, 90 or 70 or 80. I mean, I love Key, and he can say, like, I treated his business, I think we got along so well because I would treat his business as if it was my business, in the sense that I would put the same amount of effort as if I owned it.
Yeah.
And my problem was realizing that you can't get that in a lot of personalities, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
But it's having that realization and,
identifying people that don't have their heart in it. You know what I mean? Because people can be fakes. They can be imposters. I've had to encounter a fair bit of that and weed them out until I got the team I've got today, which I absolutely love. That's the hard part, is like juggling person. I thought I'd come out of jail, where jail turns you into a real good judge of character. You got to know when there's an imposter around, because it can fucking get you killed. And I used to think I was that, but these law-abiding citizens, mate, they smother it. They cover the fucking fake shit up better than any fucking crim will ever.
Do you feel like that as well is because your senses are down as well?
So, well, you think...
Like, he doesn't go... Sarah in the office doesn't have a shiv on her.
Yeah. Well, that's a big thing. You've got a valid point there. But that's that whole thing. You think, oh, well, they're law-abiding. It lowers your fucking trust thing. It's like, oh, they should be doing the right thing. And not necessarily... Sometimes they're fucking worse than anything. I had this one woman working for me, man. She just was fucking treacherous. The things she would do, like, got me for 200 grand cash. Like, was just paying herself more than she should have been getting paid. And I wasn't... Just hid it well. They just hide this shit well. But anyway, lesson learned. Hey, let's talk about, mate. What caught my attention with you is, how well you articulate women's needs. Like, man, you were in fucking tune, brother. Yeah.
Well, look, it's funny that you say that, because I had someone comment on my thing. They're like, "How are you 28 and you can give this an advice and you can do this and you can do that?" And, the best way I'll pretty much put it is this, is like, and the way I always reply to those comments, because I get a few of them, because they're like, you're 28, 1, you're 28, 2, you're a male, 3, you got tattoos, like, 4, you're decent looking, and 5, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But people don't realize that my audience, like, when we talk statistic, my audience is actually 90% female.
Yeah.
So I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
But essentially, you become a product of your environment. So I started working in adult stores when I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Now, being young, like extremely young, barely had sex, and being able, like, in trying to explain products to women and men who have obviously had a lot more sex than me, a lot more experience, a lot more confidence, I had to learn to I would use humor to break down barriers, and I would use, just full blunt honesty. And also because of like the strong female impact I have on my mum, I'm a good listener.
Yeah.
So I pay attention and I ask a whole bunch of questions. And then what happens is when you ask questions and you shut the fuck up, you learn.
Yeah.
So I would ask women questions. Why that toy? Have you had one like that? What does that do? What's your best experience with a man? Oh, okay. What's your worst? How do you do this? How do you do that? And when you accumulate that much information and you're around those sort of characters, you learn a thing or two.
But you've got a really good emotional intelligence way beyond your years.
Trauma.
Yeah. Trauma?
Yeah, trauma.
Do you reckon is that right? Because the way the one post I was articulating, I was like, oh, fucking this bloke's right. Because men have lost their way with women, I think.
Yeah.
I think men don't know how to approach women. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to engage in anything. And I think sending a dick pic or fucking...
I did a video about that today. Absolutely do not do that unless they ask.
Yeah.
But even then, if they ask, try to play it cool. Don't send one.
Send a photo of someone else's.
Yeah, I'll be like...
That's not even mine.
Even though it's fake advertising, then they get there like... Where's the other 10 inches? Like, mate, what the hell?
I saw the Tower of Terror. Not a fucking midget.
You're like, hold on a second. What? Yeah. I did the measurement. There's you're missing about 7 inches there. Listen, baby. Look.
So tell me, what do women want?
Yeah, look, I don't even know that answer. Like that one, like
all right.
I think, look.
What do women need?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Well, the number one key to thing is women are always going to tell you what they need. You just need to shut up and listen and not think that you know what she needs. We don't know what they need. They know what they need, and they need to articulate it to us, and you have to shut up and listen. See, women tell you all the time, like
non-verbally too, a lot of the
time. Non-verbally. It's so funny. I think you like this one. It's like men can spot an undercover cop car but not understand why his missus is pissed at him. I love that quote.
Yeah.
It's true, but we'll be driving like fucking.
There's the coppers.
That's what's it called?
In a fucking Hyundai.
Yeah, exactly. Or the what's the other one? They give me the shits every time I drive past and it's not a police officer. I'm like, I literally slowed down for you. The SRTs.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? So like, we can spot that. But we can't tell what our missus has been frothing in the seat next to us for 5 hours because you were a dick to her or you didn't say the right thing. Yeah. So, like, actually, I feel like the best way to understand a woman is just to shut the fuck up and listen. And I say that
good advice
bluntly because, they give us cues, they give us understanding. Like, I've seen your stuff and I love how much of a gentleman you are, and I've been watching your stuff about relationships pop up. I'm like, we resonate.
Yeah.
I'm
not good at them. I'm fucking shit at relationships.
How long did you do in jail?
23 years.
Well, you were surrounded by men for 23 years. So
they taught me not how to treat women.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. And that's also another thing. So I had two, I've come from, my mum's been divorced twice as well. So I've had this sort of dysfunctional family. And there was a quote when I was younger that really influenced me. And it was, so I've watched two men not treat my mum right. And the quote was, it was of, I don't want to butcher it, but it's fantastic. Okay, so they did a study of two brothers, twin brothers. I don't know if they're twins or we'll just say they're twins. One became a really successful entrepreneur, happy family life, amazing date, everything. And one went down the path where dysfunctional relationships, wasn't successful, hated life, gambling, alcoholic. And they asked both of them, in the study, like, why'd you end up the way you did? And it's because they both answered the exact same answer. Because of your dad. Because of my dad. We all have choices. Like, we can look at a lot of people, we might not be shown how to, do certain things, but we are so privy and have so much access to information. We just have to make the choice. Okay, if that's how my mum treated my dad, I saw how my mum, the center of my world, I adore my mum. Yeah, I love my dad, but I've seen how he treated her. She wasn't happy. So now it's my choice as a man to make the decision whether I want to end up being like him and treating women like that, or go and be the way that will ultimately make someone happy. So we have to first make the decision that, do we want to treat the woman in our life like shit, or do we want to treat them well? Once you make that decision and then you just listen and get out of your way, you'll learn so much quicker. First, it becomes with a decision.
For sure. I remember when I was in jail and I was working with a psychologist, and she said, if you want to treat a woman well, start by treating the children well.
100%.
You know, because that shows your empathetic and compassionate side and your nurturing sort of side, and it's reflective on the type of person you are inside. How was your relationships with your stepfather? Like, were they good? Were they bad?
Shit, I feel like I'm in therapy. This is hectic. Not the best. I'm not going to go too far into it because I have 3 half brothers who I will burn this whole world down for them. And I've also had a grown conversation. They're younger, but I've had the grown up conversation of my relationship with their father. Wasn't the best, but I have a second stepdad. My new stepdad now is the most amazing human being. And I use this example a lot of time because I have a lot of women that follow me and they're like, oh, all men are fucked. There's no good men out there. There's no this, there's no that. And my attitude is always, if you have that attitude, life is going to show you every last one of them.
Universal attraction.
You know, if you sit there and you're like, oh, you know, or like there's so many narcissists out there, 100%, because your brain is conditioned to look for them. It's a pattern at this point. So my mum met my stepdad when she was 50. She had 4 boys, and he came in like just an absolute gentleman, adores the earth that she lives on, like, but also a very strong masculine man, not a cuck or not as people will say, a simp.
Tell me what's a cuck. I don't understand.
A cuck is like
first time I've ever heard this term.
A cuck is, I'm trying to use the right articulate word. Like just buckles to everything. Okay. Allows you know, to push around. Cuck wouldn't be the right word for it, but like, you know, somewhat he doesn't allow her to push him around. But like also, because a lot of the time as well with all this red pill stuff like that, people are like, you have to be a masculine man. You can't take shit from women. No, you have to have strong boundaries, but also respect and love your partner. There's a big difference between being a cunt and actually having strong, like you know, being a cunt, and also being smart enough to have strong or pushover, and being strong enough to have strong enough boundaries to not allow that. Sure. I'm going to love you and I'm going to respect you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to provide for you, but I also have certain boundaries that I'm not going to allow you to, you know, breach. And there's also certain boundaries that I'm not going to breach.
For sure.
You know, and I think the problem, as we first got into it, the problem with men is, you know, one, we're scared of women. I've never
seen it any worse than it is now.
No, like the guys are like scared of rejection. It's like, mate, I get rejected. Everyone gets rejected. We get rejected every day. But, you know, the difference is like, okay, not a problem. The way I see it is, I'm not her type. That doesn't make me any less. Let's say I go up to a girl on the street. You know, hey, how are you? Fuck off. Well, thanks. But like, you know, not a problem. You know, I'm not her type. I'm not going to go, no, fuck you too. Not a problem. Have a good day. See you later. All the best. I'm not her type. Just because I'm not her type, that doesn't make me any less.
Yeah.
There's 7 billion people in the world, you know? There's a whole bunch of other people that are my type. There's also, for example, someone that's going to come up to me and I'm going to be like, have a great day. I'm not going to be flirty because they're not my type.
No.
Why am I going to I'm not going to try to put a puzzle piece into the wrong puzzle. So, you know, you can't see it as rejection. You just say, you know, God's divine redirection. You know, doors close in order for other bigger ones to open.
And I think social media these days have changed the dynamic of relationships.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Because people are just... My inbox sometimes, mate, if I get the shirt off...
Mate, you're a good looking... I saw that one you posted this morning. I was going to send a little DM too.
Yeah. Hey, you know, and that's that thing. It's like, wow. You know what I mean? It's this fucking... And... like in relationships, men jealousy is at an all-time high because if she's got a profile, if she's got a high and she, you know, like I was in one relationship and the girl didn't want me to take my shirt off in any post. Can you just keep your shirt off because it's sending out the wrong message? Is it? If a bloke's posting photos of himself with no shirt on and a girl's posting photos of herself in a bikini, is she sending out the wrong message and he's sending out the wrong message?
I don't think so. I think if you're like secure enough in your relationship, because people are like, well, because always the argument is like, well, you know, why are they asking for attention? Well, mate, they're just showing their body. Like I have a friend who's in a happy relationship, very secure relationship. He posts his body every single day because he's just showcasing his hard work. Not for females. He won't even look at another female. It's not for female attention. He's just showcasing his hard work. And a lot of the time, you'll notice, because I get it as well. If I post a photo of my top off, I get more guys that comment on my stuff than what girls do. Yeah. Like, it's wild. Straight men, not like fucking, you know what I mean?
But you know what? But I think for me, part of that is success. Like, these are the keys to my success. I train hard. If I give 110% a workout, I'm actually going to give 110% in business for that day.
Yeah.
And it's going to equate to success. That's these successful routines. And part of my routine for success is exercise for the mindset it gives me. It doesn't mean that I want to be flirting with women.
It's also going to allow you to, be better in your relationship as well.
And I got my PA, just to let people know, my PA goes through a lot of my social media stuff, and so if anything gets...
Is that Beth?
Yeah.
Shout out Beth. She's amazing to deal with, by the way.
She's good. She just set up a UK tour, but she'll answer it. And if there's something real flirtatious from a girl, she'll go, "Oh, okay, Russell, it's Beth's PA, Russell, and I'll pass that message. I'm sure he'll appreciate it." And they'll go, "Oh."
I need that. I've got him some wild DMs.
Yeah.
I got him some hardcore DMs, even when I'm like... I remember I got this one. I'll never forget it. I always talk about it. It's hilarious. Like, it was this chick from the UK.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Wow, I love your videos. They're so empowering. They're fantastic." I'm thinking, wow, how sweet. How nice is that? She's like, "Here's one of mine." Here I am thinking that it's going to be her like talking and being positive. It was her literally like in doggy style and like just...
Getting Roger.
This thing 10 times bigger than mine, just going crazy, and I'm like my phone went up, and I was just like, I don't know how to respond to that. Like, go you. Like, I don't know what to say. But it's the DMs are a crazy place. But in relationships, it's also about
boundary setting, isn't it?
Communication.
Yeah.
Like, we go back to men. Like, if we learn how to communicate, and another thing as well is, I think a lot of the time we're so scared that we're going to lose this person because of our own insecurities, that we're not good enough to attract better.
Imposter syndrome.
We are good enough. And you know what? The grass isn't always greener, but, it's always green where you water it. But like also, if someone's not treating you right, first verbalize it, because they might have unconscious patterns that they've brought with them, from their past and their experience they don't know, and they might not even realize it. And then if they continue to do it, then it's a choice. Yeah. Then you have to have the self-respect and the self-love to be like, this isn't serving me anymore. I might be, attracted to them validating me or whatever, but I have to let go of this in order to create space for something new. I get so many messages like, my ex has come back. Oh, I want my ex back. And I literally say, like, I don't care. Like, I literally I'm like, I do not care about you. I don't want to hear about your ex, because the more you fuel that idea and you focus on the past, you're just blocking all the space for someone new to come in and actually feel everything that you want. So by revisiting all your old stuff, you're not actually taking the time to, move forward.
Yeah.
And, I was actually thinking, because...
How do you feel like that? Someone's sort of asking for advice when they don't, and they're not taking it. You can see them fucking up. You can say, look, your plan, your solution is really... I see it a lot, especially with people trying to stay out of trouble.
How do you deal with it? Because I'll be honest with you, that's a struggle point with me.
Yeah, it is a struggle. Like, I've got the blueprint. I say, mate, the objective is, you've been in trouble before, the objective is to keep busy.
Yeah.
And the objective is to get a job. I used to have this thing where people would ring me up and ask me for money, especially blokes coming out of jail, and I had this thing, I'll buy you a pair of shoes. I don't do that no more. I'll say, I'll get you a job. I'll help you get a job. I've got some good contacts with the unions and that. I'll help you get a job. And never hear from them again. And you see them stuffed up, and you get a message, "Oh, stuffed up, I'm pinched, I've just got back out of jail again." But so you didn't listen in the first time, so why do you think my solution's going to be any different this time? You know what it is, I've told you before. Now you're time wasting.
Well, it's so funny. Like, it's crazy that you actually bring that up, because I was having this conversation with my best mate this morning. And we're talking about another friend who they're going through like the same shit that I told them. Like, I literally gave them all the answers. Do this, do that. Stop doing this, stop doing that. And it's not hard things. Like, these will dramatically impact your life. Just do it. Trust me. But I literally said to him, I said, look, I'm at that stage in my life. I will love everybody in my past because they allowed me to get to where I am. But if you want to help yourself, even if you take the tiniest step forward, Russell, I will back you 1,000%.
Same.
But if you're not willing to help yourself, I'm wasting my time helping you when there's so many other people out there that are ready to take the first step. So why would I rob someone who's not like who's willing to make the change, to do with someone who's just fucking around.
And they're not grateful. They don't realise the opportunity they've got.
They get the shits at you for calling them out. Like, I'm calling you out not because I think I'm better than you. I'm calling you out because I love you and I've been in your position. Like, I made the I've been in the dark, but I chose to crawl to the light. If you're not willing to do that, I'm sorry, but no one's ever going to change unless they choose to change.
That's important, isn't it? It's important. And same with me. I could have done every single course in prison. Not that there was any to do, but until I was said, yep, I'm in enough pain. I'm in enough pain to not want any more.
Was this your second round?
I done 23. It was I done 4 sentences, and I was on the last sentence that I went, fuck it. I was in enough pain. I would have knocked myself, and I was just in enough pain to go, fuck, I don't want to feel. I cannot fathom. I cannot take on another drop of pain. So I've got to do something.
Do you remember that point? Like, what was it like? Like, where 100%, were you?
I was suicidal, man. I was suicidal, and the universe intervened. So I went to a cell. And normally it's a coaxial cable for a TV. I was going to hang myself with that. It was cut down to being vandalised. This is where the universe starts looking after me and said, I've got a bigger plan for you. The next day, a bloke offered me drugs who I suspected of being a sex offender, and I knocked it back. Bang, the light started to come on, because inside I had integrity. I wouldn't take something off a person like that. I walked out in the unit. There was a guy that's studying psychology, and I said, what are you studying? He said, psychology. I took that, the advice you told me years ago, and I'm doing something with my brain. He looked me up and down with disdain. He said, maybe you should take some of your own advice, and went back to studying. I went, oh. And things started to come on, So over a period of 24 hours, my mate come and see me. He was a lawyer, so I can help you out. Walked past the education block. The door's never open. It's always fucking locked shut. I walked in there and I said, I want to do something. They said, why don't you do studying law? Bang, purpose. Went home, went back to my cell that night. This time the coaxial cable's full. TV there, and there's a writing pad. The boys set up a cell for me, a writing pad. First time up, TV comes on, 7:30 report, Royal Commission Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse. Julia Gillard had kicked off, and they were doing it, and I went, fucking, it was just the universe. So I wrote him this letter about the abuse I suffered as a child. I put it in an envelope, and the next day I sat at the letterbox, and I went 15 minutes, I let it go and threw in the towel. I let it go and got it posted and threw in the towel. And a couple of weeks later, Royal Commission came out, trauma counselling started, and that's when the healing began.
Wow.
That's when my life changed, and a few things, the lawyer they give me ended up being my partner. She ended up, that was like romantic. So I'm sitting in this prison cell, and there's a big TV screen comes up. And I'm fucking half asleep, and then she said, hey, wake up. I wake up, and I said, fuck, you're beautiful. And she went off ahead at me, going, you can't talk to me like that, I'm your lawyer, fucking hell. And then I sent a little smile on her face at the end of it, like this little smile, and I went, I've got you. 2 years later, we're in a relationship.
Are you still with her now?
Look, no. She's a lawyer. I'll tell you the thing, I'll tell you for blokes like, she's a lawyer, they ask questions, I'm a criminal, we don't answer them.
Got you.
And it's a communication thing. I'd love it, because she's my best friend in the world, and I am today, I am the man today I am, because, of her support, and I acknowledge that, and she's a powerful, strong, independent woman.
Can I ask, so when you got to that point, so obviously where the cable was there, before that, how long do you think you avoided, having those deep conversations with yourself?
30 years.
It's so funny, because I was at boxing this morning and I was just thinking about life, and then I was obviously thinking about the podcast, and I'm like, I wanted to tell you something, because I've watched your content and coming on and researching, I'm like, wow, like when I think of you, I think that the one quote, Alex Hormozy says it, like the magic, I don't want to butcher it, fuck, but it's like the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
100%.
So like you made the decision. I'm shaking because like of the story. It's phenomenal. Like you made the decision to obviously not hang yourself, and within that 24-hour time frame, you made the decision to do the work, and then all of a sudden the magic started happening. Yeah. And that is a true testament that
100%.
The magic happens when you start doing the work that you're avoiding.
You know what it was? It was vulnerability. I was so scared to be vulnerable, but now I realise vulnerability is my greatest strength.
Yeah.
The healing in vulnerability, the power and the strength in vulnerability. And I say that to every man. You want to grow, get vulnerable. Get vulnerable. You want real strength, get vulnerable. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you got to fucking cry at the fucking drop of a hat. It means you just got to be real. You got to be. The trick to vulnerability is authentically vulnerable, not just fucking creating a feeling. Authentic. The vulnerability, the feelings, and everything that you are scared of. Fucking show them, talk about them, express them, articulate them. And why you are, and that's where the growth comes. It's like.
Have you watched 8 Mile?
Yeah.
That's the end scene.
Yeah.
It's the end scene. It's like you have to be willing to talk about the things that like your biggest insecurities, so no one else can use them against you. Yeah, and in fact, that actually turns out to be your greatest strengths.
100%. That's what I say about my even my socials. There's no secrets with me.
No.
It's all there. Hit me with it, You get some of these people that try to think they can shock me or hurt me or anything like that. Man, I'll tell you something about all that. Man, I lived 23 years. My life was dictated by haters. Prison officers, some good ones, but 80% of them are just fucking haters, right? You think you can... I'll praise. If someone throws a real good comment, I'll go, fuck, that's well thought of, mate. I'll give them the clapping thing. Hey, good, that was fucking great. You're fucking short shorts, your legs are skinny, your fucking head's big, or whatever. Just go, man, there's nothing in that. You're an empty vessel. But I'll admire something that's got a bit of thought going in. I love good thinkers. I love lateral thinkers. I love people who can think outside of the box with ideas or whatever.
But imagine if they put that to actually helping people rather than trying to pull people down.
And that's what I talk about drug dealers in jail. Drug dealers...
Phenomenal businessmen.
Phenomenal. Really good at logistics. You know what I mean? And that's what I always encourage people. I'm getting involved in a program, maybe something that you could come up and do some entrepreneurial sort of stuff.
More than happy to.
Yeah, up at Armidale, and it's called Backtrack, and it's got a 90% success rate with kids. One of the best programs. I'm going to talk about it in every podcast I do because I want everyone to know about this program. We've got this big crime problem, and there's the answer, solution to it. The government want to fund it, but when the government fund it, they want to change it. You don't change what's working. What's working for you in your life? Because we've got to finish up shortly.
I think you said it. You said it, and it's funny because it resonated with me as well. Like, I'm at that stage where I just have this disgusting belief in myself.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That
that's trauma healing, brother.
Yeah, there is nothing that I believe that there's nothing out of reach. But not in a like a egotistical way, but in a positive way. Because I know that the more I grow, the more that I create, growth, and I also create pathways for others. Just like you have with everything you do, you had to do the work in order to create pathways for others. And now I'm in that belief system now where it's like, I started these online courses, and I've made them very affordable because people, people talk about business, people talk about psychology and life, but sex is such a taboo subject. And, I love what you're doing. I can't go, you can't go to, even my mum, who's my business partner in sex businesses, I don't talk to her about my sex life. Like this, we got boundaries. Yeah. She doesn't need to know about my willy bear. But there's people don't have people like me or older siblings or someone they can talk to. And that's why I created my masterclasses that are affordable, which I reinvest everything. I'm actually starting an online campus called Missionary University to the Campus. Yeah, that's what I like about a missionary university, the number one campus in the world for self-love, sex and dating. Yeah. And that's going to be massive. And that's going to help a lot of people. I'm going to get people in there to come and talk. I'd love to get you to come and talk because so many people experience trauma, and that trauma affects their whole lives. But to see you do what you've done with it, and accepted it, been vulnerable, healed, and then created a platform for others to heal. Like, I love the saying is if we don't heal from our wounds, we bleed all over the ones who don't deserve it. 100%.
Joey Williams. He's a friend of mine. He's got a program called The Enemy Within. He talks about childhood trauma, and that's one of his favourite quotes,
Yeah, it's true. But, so I'd love to get you to come in there and speak.
In a heartbeat. I'll be there in a heartbeat. I love, man. It's talked about, let's talk a little bit backtrack about social media. You get recognised a lot in the street, yeah?
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember I was with Key's artist, Lips. We're in Queensland. And people came up to me. And Lips like, fuck, people come up to you. I'm like, yeah, it's weird. Like, because I'm just an average bloke. I remember it was COVID and I had the mask on. I was at Coles. And, you know, the checkout, she came and she's like, oh my God, you're the guy from TikTok. I'm like, yeah, like, you know, we talk and she's like, oh, I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, I just didn't realize that. Like, I'm like, what? I go to Coles and I shop like a normal person. Like, you know, don't look at. I tell people this. It's just numbers.
And if you can make someone smile, and that's what, you know, with a photo, and I love it.
I do. I take photos. I kiss foreheads. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. I'll kiss foreheads. I'll be in a festival. They're sweaty. I'll kiss their forehead.
No,
like,
why not?
You know. This person has you know, it might have taken them courage to come up to you and say hello. So, like, who am I to be rude or disrespectful or anything like that? Like, this person watches my content. They fuel my algorithm. They help support my family. They help me support my dog. Like, why? And, you know, this might have been their, like, only bit of courage to come up to someone. So, what the fuck? Come here, I'll give you a hug. Let's fucking rock it out. You know, let's take a photo. Yeah. I'll send, like, someone will be like to me, oh, my friend loves you. I'm like, give me your phone. Let's FaceTime it.
Yeah, I love that.
Who am I? I'm just another human. Like, you know, I'm no bigger than anyone. I'm no lower than anyone. We're on the same path. I just teach people how to find the clit, which I can't even find, you know?
Yeah, far out. Man, AJ, man, you're full of life, brother. I love your energy.
Thank you, Russell.
Positive. It's fucking so good.
Thank you so much, Russell.
Thank you, AJ, man. It's been a pleasure having you.
No, you've been amazing, and honestly, you're a role model. So it's, you know what, keep doing all the amazing work you're doing, and you know you're already going further.
Cheers, brother. Thank you very much.